Alright, so in this video, I'd like to show you how you can take your Thaumatrope and bring it into Photoshop and create the animation digitally. Right? So what you're going to need to do is take a picture of each of your images separately. So let's say this was image 1, and I have image 2. So you can see there are two separate files. Right? So when you take a picture of it, what I would do on your phone is try to crop it so that it's just the Thaumatrope as much as possible with nothing else in it, like no background, because that creates like noise, like distraction. We want to just focus on this image. You can see I actually cropped it so that it's at the edge of the circle, and I did the same with the background. Then what you're going to do is you want to take at least one of your circles and place it into the other file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back and I'm going to select all by doing Control A. Look, Command A or Control A depending on if you're on a PC or a Mac. And then what I could do is Command C or Control C to copy it. Go to my other file and do Command V to paste. So now you can see on my layers I have my both sides of the Thaumatrope. The next thing you want to do is make sure that they're aligned. So in a traditional Thaumatrope, you would kind of look up at the, if you have a light box, you can use that, or look up at the light and see through. And it becomes transparent, so you'll be able to see what's going on. In Photoshop, what you could do is click on your top layer and go to opacity and lower your opacity so you can kind of see through to then now align your object. I'm going to do Command T or Control T to transform this. I need to realign this a little bit more. First off, it should be a little bit bigger. Okay. And second, I need to rotate it slightly so that those circles, the hole punched, align, right? And that's kind of how I would like it to look. Right. So now I'm going to go back to my layer 1 and up the opacity. So now if I were to click these layers on and off really quickly, it might start to almost look like the Thaumatrope, right? Now, how can you make this into an animation? In Photoshop, you can create animations as well. If you go to Window, okay, up top, and you go to Timeline, your timeline is where your animation is located. The first thing you want to do is to click on this little tab. You might say create video timeline or create frame animation. So if it says create video timeline, click on this little tab and change it to frame animation. So you want to make sure it says create frame animation. You're going to click on create frame animation and it's going to pull up a timeline. But the timeline is only going to have one picture on it. Okay, so what you're going to do is you need to add the other one. Each of these layers are now called frames. So you want to add frames to your timeline. So at the top right, these little lines, horizontal lines, if you click on it and you go to make frames from layers, it will pull all the layers that are in your layer bar into the timeline. So now you can see I have my bird and the little notes. Once I hit play, it's going to move, but it only moves once, right? It only moves once through the timeline. So at the bottom, there are some options. You could choose once, 3 times, or forever. So if I hit forever and hit play, it's going to flip back and forth between the frames. I can also adjust the timing. So right now there's no delay, but I can make like a 2-second delay, right, if I wanted to. So you can adjust the speed as well. And that is how you'd create a Thaumatrope digitally. What I'd like you to do is to save your file, okay, and I would like to see what you did. So you can, maybe I'll share that with you in class because I might have you save it a specific way. So I'm going to stop the video here, and I hope you enjoy.